A very good evening. Welcome to ELITETV and you're watching Open Debate in English. I'm your host, CHONGTHAM, AMRITA, and today we bring you the topic, political turmoil in the state. The brutal massacre of 6 women and 6 children in Jakurador by Kuki militants has shaken the conscience of our state. The horrifying details in the autopsy reports have ignited widespread outrage, with citizens storming legislators' homes and properties even torched. The government's response has now been to impose curfews, internet bans, and also passing the case over to the NIA. This has left the people questioning its ability to maintain the law and order in the state. And amidst this chaos, cracks have been appearing within the ruling alliance, with key ministers and MLAs now openly defying the chief minister as well. Calls for the chief minister's resignation have grown louder, with 19 MLAs threatening to step down. Even former leaders like the ex-army chief, General VP Malik, and even former governor of Manipur, Anusia Uike, they are also raising concerns about the lack of accountability and even the possibility of president's rule in the state. And today, as the winter session of the Parliament begins, the questions now remain is how did we get here and where do we go from here? And tonight, we will unpack the governance failure, the incompetence, the political discord, and its devastating impact on the people. Now, let's take a moment to welcome our panelists for tonight. The first panelist for tonight joining us is Oja SHANTA NAHAKPAM, Secretary General of UCM. Oja, welcome to Open Debate. Our second panelist for tonight is Oja JININE LAISHRAMCHA, Assistant Professor, University of Suwon, South Korea. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Okay, my pleasure.
And our third panelist for tonight is Dr. NG SHANTIKUMAR, Professor of English, HUNGKOU, DELIN University, Taiwan. Oja, welcome to Open Debate once again.
Thank you for having me, Amrita.
Okay. Now I'll start with Oja SHANTA first of all, that the recent Jakurador massacre has exposed the glaring lapses in the state's law and order machinery. Now, why has the government repeatedly failed to anticipate and also to prevent such atrocities despite previous warnings about militant behavior and activities, Oja? Well, what do you have to say to that, first of all?
Your voice is like very slow to me.
Oh, okay then. Okay, Oja. I will thank you for the feedback. We will adjust that accordingly, Oja. Oja, is it better?
Can you kindly repeat it again?
Okay, so Oja, the recent killings of the Jakurador massacre, this has exposed a glaring lapse in the administrative and the law and order machinery of the state. Now, why has the government failed to protect innocent lives? Why has it failed to prevent such atrocities happening within the state of Manipur despite repeated warnings of Kuki militant activities, Oja?
See, there are two things we have to look into. If you are talking about Jakurador, the area where this massacre happened, it was a place where the relief camp was being stationed. So another thing is that there was a police station nearby, and the police, as per information which we have, the police station was supposed to have more than 40 armed personnel, where at that point of time only something around 20 to 25 people were stationed over there. Nearby, on a 60-meter range, there was another CRPF camp which was also stationed there. So the whole thing is like, if you take stock of what the family and what the relatives of the deceased and the other people who were on the spot has to be taken, then as per their eyewitness and their information, the militants had come down there 2-3 times to warn them about this attack. And all the militants had come down by auto, which means that they have very good contact of the nearby villages. Now, if you look at the situation and the security scenario which the government has arranged in JININE and other places in Manipur, the government and the security personnel have created a buffer zone, which they call as a buffer zone. And the buffer zone is supposed to stop different communities from trespassing each other's area during the conflict. Necessarily, it doesn't mean that you have been separated you have a separate territory, but for the timing, the government wants the Kuki community not to trespass into the Meitei area and the Meitei communities not to trespass into into the Kuki area. But this is very unfortunate incident, and we have been discussing this since last 2 weeks now, and even the civil society organizations have given a timeline, I think, which supposedly ends today, that we have demanded a total crackdown on the Kuki militants. And as per the Chief Minister office and other government sources, they have informed us that the operation has been going on to nab the culprit. But if we closely look into why and how it has happened, and or how the government is taking the matter, to me, I don't think the government is able to, the government will be able to even nab the culprit, because the Honorable MLA Paulian Lal has already glorified the attack as in the name of revenge on whatever has happened earlier. So it is a matter of dignity and pride of the government, whether the government is still ready to answer the intervention of Paulian Lal kind of statement. And recently, where the 11 militants which was killed by CRPF firing were taken back to Chochanpur, and Ellen Khaute, who was the previous DGP, he also went to pay homage to those 11 militants, which he himself called it as a martyr. Now the question goes to our government, how they are going to tackle this, and how they are going to look into the matter, how they are going to convince the people that whatever they have spoken or whatever they have committed through a written paper to the CSO, are they going to still act on it? And till now, I don't think, and even I don't have an iota of trust to the government that they will be able to be doing some action on these militants. Because when an elected member like Paulian Lal and LM Khaute, the ex-DGP, who is now an elected member of the assembly, when they are ready to talk on behalf of the militants which did such heinous crime, then I don't think our government is ready to even act upon them. This is what I want to say for my first round.
Yes, indeed, Oja, you have really very clearly highlighted that there is indeed government and security lapses that happened in Jiribam in Jakurador that led to this brutal massacre. And also, Oja has also clearly said that the public, and also as a representative of the CSO of Manipur, that he doesn't have much trust in the government that they can restore or even crack down the Kuki militants. Now, after the recent outrage, these atrocities, there has been so much outrage in the Imphal Valley. Now, the government's immediate response was to impose curfews and also ban the internet services. Now, moving on, I'll take this question to our second panelist for tonight, is Oja JININE LAISHRAM. That, do you think that these kind of measures, they are just reactionary, they are just reactive of the atrocities or the outrage that are taking place in the Imphal Valley, and is it also a reflection of the government that they have completely given up on the governance, and it completely reflects their inability of how to handle such violence from coming up, from surging up, and a complete inability from the side of the government to maintain law and order? Because every time there is an atrocity or anytime there is a violence, the government always responds with curfew for a few days and then again an internet ban. So this cycle keeps on continuing. Oja LAISHRAMCHA, what do you have to say to that?
As you said, that the thing is repeating over and over. The people that witnessing this very ridiculous, I must say it's ridiculous, that complete absurdity, as you said, that things are happening and repeating over and over, that like nothing, they have nothing to do. So they go to, banning internet and just shut down the school. I don't have much to say about this. This is completely kind of ridiculous action from the government, especially state government. And a more unfortunate thing is that in the meantime, the stakeholders, like there are multiple stakeholders. Let's say among the Meitei community, we have different types of stakeholders, including so-called civil society, NGOs, activists, and politicians, and Imamera Paibis, a lot. So how we do respond to the situation is very, very questionable. You said that the government is like just nothing to do with, good for nothing, and they are doing nothing. But the stakeholders, especially among our community, we should respond with a critical and effective kind of noises, like protests and advocating the human rights violation, and also what we can call it this time terrorism, but we are not doing. And some key stakeholders fail acting in a very positive or meaningful way, and I feel very disheartened to see the stakeholders are compromising. They are negotiating, I don't know, in exchange of some what you call favoritism or nepotism. So state government, I mean Manipur government, is not doing anything meaningful so far, because Manipur government thinks that they can do whatever they like, because there are some kind of sycophants that giving support to the whatever government is doing, what you call ridiculous, or that complete kind of absurdity there. So this is very, very unfortunate. And one very, very heartbroken, shocking situation is that terrorist act that in November 11, 12, those terrorists took innocent children and women as hostage and murdered brutally. That's kind of heartbroken, shocking experience that happening in the history of Manipur. And one more unfortunate thing is that the government, let's forget Manipur government for a while. What about New Delhi? New Delhi has done anything, has not done anything. So the responsibility of government is not that they are not able to do, but they are willing, rather complicit, like they are associating, that committing terrorist acts. And so just seeing the happening in the Jiribam, the victims of the 6 completely innocent IDPs, I would like to say that there are 2 actions involved. One is terrorism, and one is human rights violation. Terrorism from the Kukizo militants, and human rights violation from the New Delhi, because New Delhi is rather, I think, helping or in association with, I must say, in association with the terrorists. So the situation is like add fuel to the fire. So the growing situation that from bad to worse is just happening in front of our eyes, and sometimes we don't know, like, what should we do, because there are some vested interest forces among us, and these vested interest elements are becoming hurdles when we are making noises towards the government I mean, Manipur government and New Delhi, and very, very like gruesome, grotesque, brutal acts of the terrorism are happening, evident before the growing numbers of such violence is coming up day by day, and our governments, both New Delhi and the Manipur governments, are doing nothing. They are doing nothing. Rather, they are complicit. I must say, they are good for nothing, and it appears that bad things are happening in association with state governments, both governments, Manipur and New Delhi. Yeah, that's my observation, and that's a very depressing kind of the things that are happening right now in Manipur.
Yes, indeed, truly, it's very, very shocking. How can the New Delhi, the capital of the country, which is supposed to be a protector of innocent lives, is now just sitting duck with their hands tied and watching civilians get killed. Now, moving on with this debate, I would like to move on to Shantikumar, that recently, when this news broke out, there was a public outrage in the valley. At that time, there was almost 20 to 21 MLAs threatening that they will resign from the MLA's seat. Now, that did not happen, but what did happen was 7 NPP MLAs did withdraw their support to the current regime. Now, considering all of this, do you think that is it time for the state to reconsider the leadership? Because this is every time there is such an outrage, the demand from the side of the MLA seems to come back to the leadership once and again every time. So do you think that the reconsidering the leadership or changing the leadership is now the need of the hour? Because we know that there is internal discord within the ruling regime, because even the 19 MLAs since last month have already submitted a letter to the Prime Minister demanding the Chief Minister's resignation. Now, do you think that the Chief Minister is losing his hold over the government, his hold over the MLAs even? What do you have to say to that, Ocha?
And actually, this problem of kind of conspiracies against the CM. I mean, certain MLAs like to, replace him, and some of them like to be the CM of Manipur. It has been going on for a long time, actually. It has been going on before this May 3rd event, May 3rd incident. I mean, they already tried, some of the MLAs, they already tried to take him down and replace him by another candidate among the BJP candidates. So it has been going, and so looking at that angle, it's not a new incident or new happening, but it's been happening for a long time. So here, what we can see is, I don't think by changing the CM's post, I don't think there will be any better political solutions or political system, or the crisis can be solved, because a lot of these things are actually depend on the center. Even we change who. So the question is, who will be the next CM? If CM Biren is taken out, who will be the next CM? Is he going to have the gut to fight, to say something, stand on his feet, and say and pressurize the central government to do something good for the state? I don't think so. Do we have any leaders among these 19 MLAs who like to take down CM from his post? And they are talking now openly against him. But is there anyone who can stand bravely and say anything against the central government? I don't think so. If there is someone, or there are some of them, it could have happened already. But I don't think they can do anything like that. So I just, in this case, see, the situation now is getting worse, and I mean, especially we just talk about the Jiribam incident where innocent 3 kids and 3 women were kidnapped and abducted from the relief camp and tortured for a few days and killed and thrown into the river just like trash, just like nothing. And what is the government doing? What is the central government doing? Actually, the media has spread this news all over India, even outside India. But why the central government is not taking any action against those culprits? And even those 2 MLAs, one is Pauline Hauke, who justify the actions of those terrorists, militant terrorists, cookie terrorists, justified as revenge for killing a woman, a Mar woman in Juriba. And the other one is LM Kaute. He also glorified those 10 terrorists as martyrs. And who fought against these 10 terrorists? The CRPF. The CRPF personnel killed them in the encounter. And so, are we going to say the CRP forces were wrong? If they were right, why the central government cannot nab those culprits who killed those innocent civilians, innocent 3 kids and those women? Not only those 6, but also they killed when people were harvesting. One woman was killed and 2 people were burned into the house. So total 9 people killed, and linked with that incident, another one was killed by shooting. Another youth was killed also. So totally 9 people were killed. And what has the state machinery has done so far? Nothing. But now they are so busy. What we like our leaders, what we like the central leaders and as well as state leaders is not talk about their political inside problem, but to focus on solving the present crisis. That is to nab those culprits who killed the innocent civilians. And the other one is to finish this conflict, to solve this conflict. But now they are talking about those changing CM. And they all like to grab the chair, and they like to be chief ministers. So even though some of them becomes chief minister, I don't think the solution, I don't think the problem will be solved, because there is nobody who has the gut to sacrifice their chair. And so, someone like here, and I'll just let you just give one example. And recently on 11th of November, one civil servant in Taiwan suicide because his supervisor was abusing the power, and he suicide on 11th of November. And after 2 weeks, you know what happened? The labor minister resigned from his post and also suspended the supervisor permanently forever, because the labor ministry was complained by people, and he thought, okay, I'm not fit enough, I'm not worthy enough to hold the post, so I like to resign. First time he was rejected. Second time he submitted the letter again, and he was accepted. Do we have any kind of leader or leaders who can do something like this, who can sacrifice their chair and put the first priority, saving the people, solve the solution, solve the conflict, and keep their chair behind? Do we have any kind of any leaders like this in Manipur, especially among the ruling MLAs or ministers? No, we don't have. So in my opinion, I don't think changing the leadership will have any positive effect. So Amrita, I will keep this way first one.
A very good point, Oja, that this is not the right time to indulge in infighting is basically what you had to say, that now is the time to solve problems and not to indulge in infighting, and even changing what would changing a leadership would bring any change. Now I like to keep speaking on this topic, that even and take this to Oza Shanta, that our panelist Oza Shantikumar has mentioned that how Taiwan treats his or their people who abuse their power, and we have seen the swift action as Oza has highlighted. Now to Oja Shanta, the thing is that even recently the NDA Alliance Partners meeting that was called by the Chief Minister, we saw that there were so many absentees, including senior minister like Y. Kepchan, even the Speaker of the Assembly was also missing at that meeting, and they also said that these kinds of meetings have been going on repeatedly since last year and has no meaning, because this is only a matter of collecting signatures, and there is nothing that they can suggest that can bring any positive outcome. Now the thing is that there is so much internal division, deep divide within the MLAs, within the ruling parties, within the ruling regime at this current moment. Do you think that this discord within the leaders will affect the administration's ability to function effectively during such a critical time? Do you agree with Oza Shantikumar saying that changing the leadership will not bring any change? What do you say, Oza?
In my opinion, there is no conflict between the party, but yes, there is conflict for the leadership and power.
Okay.
Because you have not seen the political party protesting against their president.
Mm-hmm.
There are two areas where you can keep protesting. One is the ruling government, where you have chosen a leader who is the chief of all of the ministers. Now, if you are not satisfied with him, you have the right to protest. You have the right to, give your resignation. You have the right to, complain against him to your central ministers, to the prime minister, to your party leaders. But in this case, the political party, particularly BJP, has not, written a single complaint to the party president, who is Sada Devi.
Mm-hmm.
And she is not also trying to intervene the position and the situation in Manipur to her higher authorities of the party. We have never heard her giving a statement that the BJP party is trying to tackle this through these ways. What is the policy? How to convince the people? Normally, what happens in the political party is that the chief minister or the ruling would take stock of the rules and regulations and the policies of the party. Basically, Chief Minister Biren Singh, whatever he is doing, he is just following the policy and program of the party. If he wants to, put up a new agenda, or if he wants to do a new policy, then he has to get the approval of the political party, because that is to be implemented in his name, under the party's flag and banner. Now, whatever is being done under the policy and plan of BJP, as per the ruling. So now what happens is, like, if you say that changing the person who is sitting on the chair of the chief minister through BJP, I don't think it is going to happen anything. No change will come, because like I said earlier, whatever the chief minister of BJP will do is the policy of the party. But yes, if he has the will, yes, he has the power to convince the party leadership. He has the power to carry the ship which he is the captain of to good waters, good weather, and to the destination where he wants to go. But in this case, it seems that he is not connected to the party at all. The party president has nothing to do with whatever is happening. Party policy is different, or rather the party policy is what exactly the center is pushing the chief minister to go ahead with. So if we come back to whatever has happened in Jiribam and whatever has happened in last 17-18 months, it doesn't seem that the BJP wants to settle down with the present situation in Manipur at the earliest, because repeatedly sending extra forces, repeatedly putting a curfew, and now even today, I think there is a rumor, or I don't know whether anybody or any of the media has seen the order that MHA has asked to keep the coal records of next 5 years, which is against the democracy. India calls itself a secular state, a democratic country. But if a 30 lakh citizen is their coal are being traced and recorded, and their calls are being kept for 5 years for just to do a scrutiny, where the central government and the intelligence wants to know that whether these people are connected with the militia outside the country, then it is truly a show of failure of the intelligence agencies which the government of India has. You don't need to lock up 30 lakh people just to show that yes, you are doing something. You already have those people in your hands. You already have those people in front of you. You have the documents. You have so many of your intelligence sources. You have the government. You have the CSOs. Everything you are having everything. But why you are not acting? I don't have an idea on it. Now, the people are so much divided. The people are so much divided into the political position of the state, that after the CSOs have announced political resignation, just to help them talk in the center that yes, our people wants us to resign, we need to do something. This is what the MLAs should have done. But now a section of people have come up to protect the houses of the MLA. Some of them has been taken up. They have taken up banners saying that yes, we don't want you to resign. You are still our legitimate MLA. These are all political things. I don't think those people who are trying to protect our leaders, yes, those people who are trying to protect, or those people who doesn't want them to resign politically even from the party and put a pressure on them, will have the dignity and power to save the nation when Manipur will be started to be divided into different territories. It is the duty of the MLAs to perform, to convince the people. As of now, if you look into the number of followers which the MLA has, then each of the MLAs are having more than 5,000, 6,000. Some of them might be having more than 13,000 people following them. But if you look at the CSOs, then CSOs are just outnumbered by the political parties. So the division between the people, the CSOs and other, the political parties, and the position which we have been seeing at present in Manipur is very bad, and it is the worst scenario which we'll be seeing, I think, in our lifetime, because our people are so much divided on nation building. Our people are so much divided on politics. It seems that people want to save the person, but they do not want to, they do not want their, leaders to make them answerable why and how these things are happening. You cannot put one person, Mr. N. Biren Singh or Mr. Govindas or Mr. R.K. Imo or Mr. Saitabrata on the front line and say that he's the person who has done all the things and this is why we are suffering today. You can't say that. You are a party, you are a political party. There are mandates which you have. There are meetings and there are resolutions which you have taken, and whatever the chief minister does is being followed by the party, and it is being done in the party name, because you can't put the political party's name at stake. So in Manipur it is a very different scenario. Looking back to Taiwan or back to Australia or back to Germany, you can't see all those things here, because we are economically so weak that we need a person. Like we need a rich person or a powerful person to survive in the state. This is also another issue, because I can't, in Manipur and basically in India, people do not survive alone. They survive beyond a powerful person or a rich person. You're economically so much divided. So now, if you want to, if we look at solving the issue, or if you ask me how these things are to be solved, then from my opinion, it is going to take time, until and unless people participate politically very actively, in a very active manner, until and unless people start questioning whom they have elected, why these things are happening, how it is happening. Instead of being violent and being, destroying the house of the elected members, we could have gone in front of their house and we could have said that, yes, I'm a member of BJP, I'm a member of Congress, I'm a member of NPP, I want to resign, I want you to resign because the center is not hearing our words. So this is what should have happened. But now we are so much divided that I don't think these things will be solved in next 1 year also. Like we'll be having the whole burnout things, and then we'll be still having the smell of whatever has happened in another coming 7-8 months. We'll still face such issues until and unless our people participate politically and we do the political job in our heart. We should be participating the political move, and how we want to look at the state in future, that we have to see.
Indeed.
That's what I want to say.
Yes, indeed. Very rightly said, Oja Shanta, that whatever we are seeing, the political divide or even the dissent within the MLAs is also a reflection, or it is reflected to the public, and even the public is very much divided. Now there is no unity. We can say that we can see it for sure. There is no unity among the public. There is no unity even among the legislators. Now coming to Oja JININE, as we have heard from our previous speakers. Now on the day when the news broke out of this massacre, the people were so angry. They were public outrage. Now what they did was they all went into the houses of the legislators of their own constituency and started burning the properties, destroying their properties, the houses. Now we see that there was so much anger that day, and we know that clearly because the people, they have elected somebody from their constituency to take care of things, that are bigger than the people, and they are the representatives of the people, in fact. Now when they have failed to protect the lives of the innocents, clearly the people will now turn back to them, and they have resorted to such destructions, in fact. Now my question is, how much of these anger of the public is rooted from perceived apathy of the government side and their incompetence for a long time, or do you think this is just an explosion and a reaction against the news that broke up that day? What do you think, Oja? Or do you think that this anger will continually get softened and again just die down until another violence comes up, and then the same cycle will repeat, rinse and repeat, and it will continue the same way? What do you think, Oja? What are your thoughts?
Well, the reality in Manipur, not only this time, it's been like since 1949 that Manipur was merged or annexed. So the reality is a continuation of the, I must call it, structural violence. In different, not only the physical violence, for example, imposition of the APSPA, that draconian military law, then a lot of corrupt administration and absence of the governance. So in such atmosphere, bad things are emerging and coming up. So people they are sometimes confused and helpless, and also they don't know what to do. Like during the 16 years long Samila hunger strike, that's the beautiful non-violence protest against the attitude of the government of India, like human rights violation and imposition of the military law. Those beautiful options are just helpless and useless. So it is natural that people look for other options that may work, or sometimes the options that are being taken up by the people not working, but as other options and other ways are exhausted, and people are doing whatever they can do. And also from the history, from the happening in the past, for example, 18 June that 2001, that Manipuri people understood that action that in the form of the violence got some kind of effective result. So from such realities and experiences, people are doing that violent activities against the people representatives. So the key problem is that government having power, they haven't doing what that's supposed to be done. So it is natural in such atmosphere, in a situation that good things are not working, then other options are open and the people are taking off bad options, or what you call it, violence, or you can call it morph or mobocracy. So yeah, this is the option that conditioned by the government. And one unfortunate thing is that we are very much divided. I must say that in the outer layer that uh, we appear like patriotic guys and the patriotic people, but in reality, we compromise so much and we are going down so low. Our dignity and our responsibility, we compromise with like a small amount of monetary kind of exchange, and so vested interest and the larger number of, I must say, larger number of people who are not fighting for real cause, rather they are supporting, or maybe they confuse, and they are doing really useless thing in both ways, like supporting governments or sometimes going out and taking to the streets. But what they are doing, or what we are doing, is completely useless, and we haven't seen any effective result. Maybe it's too late, but we have to think, and we need having a meaningful and a stronger coordination among the stakeholders, especially civil societies, or the activists and the people concerned. But politicians are, as we have seen, very visible, their behavior, their action, and they are good for nothing. So when we come back to the electoral practice and what we have done during the election time, so this is kind of cycle of the violence and the vicious cycle, bad things coming again and go around. But yes, we have to think, if we love our economy, our life, our property, our future, our history, we have to think again, and we should act meaningfully. Otherwise, the reality is very, very grim and very, very dimmed. So yeah, that's the thing I want to share, Amrita.
Yes, indeed, Oja, you did suggest a very good point that the CSOs, activists, even students, even older societal leaders and the government need to have a meaningful coordination to resolve this, in order just to start from something, so just to have a point that they all agree upon and start from there. I think that's a very good point, Oja. I'll come back to you again in the next round. Now, moving on with this debate, I'll come to Oja Shantikumar, that I'd like to now take up another angle in this discussion, that today it was reported in the newspapers that the former army chief VP Malik, he said that a governor's rule or even a president's rule is a must. That can only be the solution right now in Manipur, because as we know that the ex-army chief VP Malik, he was a Kargil veteran. He was also very much experienced in Northeast security, and that was the statement that he gave regarding the turmoil that we are facing now in the state. He said president's rule is the only viable solution. And even a few days ago, the former governor of Manipur, Anisha Uike, she also raised concerns regarding the governance failure in the state. She also mentioned in an interview saying that she has asked the Prime Minister repeatedly to visit the state and look into it, but she even has no clue why the Prime Minister has not arrived. So these are the words of people in the public platform who has a lot of experience in the state politics, the state security. They have started saying such words regarding Manipur, the president's rule, or such things. Now, also Shantikumar, do you think that the president's rule is the only viable solution now, considering all the state administrative machineries, the law and order has come to this level where innocent lives, even the lives of children, cannot be protected? That is beyond the reach of the state government. Now, do you think a president's rule is the only viable solution?
It could be, but I think president rule has been imposed already in Manipur. If we look from the angle of how the state machineries are working, I mean, so far. So actually, our government is acting like puppets, dummies. So actually, they don't really have the power to do whatever they want. For example, unified command, when the GM likes to do something about the security problems, he cannot do. He has to act. He has to take permission from the central government. So, former Army Chief BP Malik and Governor Anisha Wiki, they are very experienced people about security problems and also about politics. So it could be, but I'm not sure if President's rule will solve the problem when the PM is not ready, when the real actors in the center is not really ready to solve this problem. Even, you know, I don't know if President will solve the problem. Maybe for temporary, maybe for short time, the security problem may be solved, but the political solutions, the conflict between Meiteis and Kukis, I don't think that solution can be brought by bringing president's rule, because India central government is not really ready to step in and finish the conflict. That's why it's been going so long. If India really likes to control, to finish this war, this conflict, it's already done. But no, not yet. Why? Because they have some hidden agendas, you know, going along with the Sioux militants and the central government. You see here, talking about president rule, we have already, you know, almost 300 companies that, you know, have been sent to Manipur, security personnel, right? Then number two, 6 districts or police stations have been imposed ESPA.
Right.
And besides that, they like to put again president rule. I don't think any viable solution will come unless and until the central government is ready honestly to step in and finish the conflict. So PM Modi should come and try to finish first. Then after that, if it doesn't work, if the central government really tries this way to stop the conflict, and if it doesn't work, yes, they can impose president rule, and we can see. Yeah, I put it this way, Amrita.
Yes, indeed, very good point. You mentioned a very clear, a very good point that is quite obvious. I think that, and it is indeed true. I think that we all feel the same thing, that the center is really not ready to step into the conflict of Manipur, either to solve it or even to put an end to it or even to change leadership. It is like for the center, the condition of Manipur has gone to the extent where even if they interfere, it might go worse, and they fear that. It could be the only explanation now. Now, moving on with our debate, it's become very interesting now. To Oja Shanta, the thing is that today the winter parliament session is underway, and do you think that the state representatives, both in the Rajya Sabha as well as the Lok Sabha, that they will be able, or maybe they should be, making key demands to the parliament, raising the voices in the parliament to bring about justice for the Jacurador victims, and also not to forget a stable governance structure in the state of Manipur? Do you think that the other big issues could undermine this issue, or do you think that our MPs really need to make it a point or raise the voices to now bring the attention to Manipur immediately? Oja, what do you expect from the upcoming winter session? Oja Shanta, I think you're on mute. We cannot hear you.
I think as a BJP, as a political party, you know, they might have been, you know, very happy regarding the election winning of Maharashtra, where they have won with a huge majority. And
right.
This is, I think this is for the first time which has happened in that particular state, where they have already, you know, like Shiv Sena kind of party has already kind of wiped out, you know, like they are now not even visible in the opposition. So, today in the afternoon, where Modi, the Prime Minister, was like doing a press conference regarding the winter session, he was addressing a press conference. I think he was addressing press. I did not hear anything he mentioned about the conflict and state in Manipur. Maybe I might be wrong because I was not throughout the conference I was not there listening to whatever he was saying. But in my opinion, it doesn't matter whether our MLAs speak out or not, whether they put up the demand or not. The parliament is going to have a very loud sounding, very loud sounding of the present position in Manipur, because everybody wants to know why the Prime Minister has not been able to, not even come down, but speak up a little bit.
Not even a tweet.
Particularly the MLAs of the state, particularly even from my point of view as a leader of the CSO, civil society organization, I would appeal the MLAs in Manipur to go to Delhi, camp in the BJP office, and do a little pressure regarding the situation of the state. That in the parliament, at least their political party as the ruling group in the state and the center needs to give a statement why these things has been happening, why there is no crackdown on the militants, why there has been no crackdown of law and order, why we are not able to move on the national highway freely. This might be the first time which has happened in India where a conflict between two groups has happened, and there a buffer zone has been created where two parties cannot meet each other, and the government of India has been particularly able to prove and show that yes, these two communities cannot live together with the help of the Kuki militants and ITLF and other Kotu kind of organizations, where a regular and long time group of Kuki Inpi and other organizations are now silent. Maybe they might be silent because they are on the nozzle of the gun, or they might be silent because of the political situation in the state. What I would like to say is that the present MLAs and party members of the ruling and as well as all other national political parties need to camp in Delhi during this parliament session and pressurize their political parties to try and find out an answer of the solution which is happening in my home state. This is what I would like to suggest them. Apart from the CSOs pressurizing them to give an answer of the present situation, take up necessary measures, do a crackdown on the militants, find out the culprits of these people who have killed innocent children. Yes, there are casualties in war. There are casualties when two people fight. Somebody can get hurt, but it was not not a matter of war. They just came in a different model, and it was a militant attack. So the government needs to answer. It is to be seen in the 20 days long parliament session, which is going to end in December 20, what it offers for Manipur. If the parliament is not able to answer good for Manipur, then there will be a different reaction from the CSOs and the people. I hope that a lot of people, including the MLAs and those people who are now supporting the MLAs and asking them not to resign, and who are now protecting the life and property of the MLA, apart from the law enforcement agencies, will have to answer why the BJP government, why the ruling government is not able to answer too many questions in two parliament sessions, 20 days long parliament session. This is what they should realize. This is what I want to just put up in this last round.
Very good point, Oja. Indeed, we will have to wait and watch, and of course the expectations are high, not just because this is not because we are biased because we are from the state, but because this is now a humanitarian problem, and in fact this will hurt India from even in the eyes of the global peers as well. Now we will have to wait and watch, and in fact, Oja, Shanta, thank you for your points that indeed and for the suggestions for the BJP MLAs to take up. If they could, then it would indeed bring a very different atmosphere to this parliament session. Now, moving on with this debate now, Judge Janine, the thing is that with this political turmoil and governance failure, this has left the public feeling abandoned. Some have even resorted to taking steps and matters into their own hands. Now, how does this kind of vacuum of leadership affect the societal and economic fabric of the state in the long term? How can it be remedied even? and mitigate it. Oja, give us your thoughts in just a brief words. Oja JININE.
Well, the challenge is really, really big, and it's not easy to comment solution. However, then as we don't have other options, then we have to fight, we have to struggle more to get something out of such a nightmare experience. I remember one kind of political change. I must say that's political change, or I must say, yeah, electoral practice, during the MP election. Then Professor Bimont was elected by a larger, unexpected number of the people that are going to polls. So there is a feeling of that, oh, we should change our political journey. Otherwise, Manipur remained bogged down in such situation. So maybe, electoral time, electoral practice is one key thing that we have to ask ourselves and take the opportunity to change ourselves. I know that human beings are, a lot of shortfalls, and we have a lot of weaknesses, but like 60% or maybe 70% majority of we, the people, understand the situation, and we come to the changing political journey, like electing a powerful, rightful, and a qualified representative. Then it will be hope for Manipur. So yeah, electoral politics is one thing that we can participate meaningfully. And again, I would like to just mention that the happening in Manipur is a continuation of the crisis in 1949, but this time the things are getting worse. And here we should understand, but I think many of us, understand the situation, and we know what should we do and how will we respond to the situation. But as I told you before, that vested interest, favoritism, and working and sacrificing Imam Manipur for sake of some rupees, and this is very, very unfortunate reality. And one thing that other panelists also mentioned before, that melodrama and a lot of ridiculous kind of things are happening, like please do not do resignation, like some women, they are making some noises like please do not resign from your post. Such melodrama is very cheap, and it costs a lot, because happening is, that dying, or I must say in the act of terrorists, innocent people are murdered every week, and it did not happen in the past. And here, when I talk about a terrorist or terrorism, over the last 15 or 17 months, I did not mention this term terrorism or terrorist, because I practice tolerance and try to be, kind of, act and respond in that manner. But by seeing, the actual crime, actual acts of the criminals that committed by the so-called, Chinkuki terrorists, and government of India, New Delhi, are behaving like helping or just complicit. I must say, yeah, helping or in association with. So bad guys are committing serious crime of terrorism in association with New Delhi, because we have been witnessing this thing over the last 15 17 months. So it's a very very the cost is very high, but the response that especially we Mitai are acting, the response that we are showing is going very very low. And we have to think, and true patriots must work again, try again, and to coordinate and to minimize, to mitigate the negative energy that coming off among the Mitai stakeholders. This is very very important, and we should continue making noises to protect our human rights and to end the act of terrorism. So we should continue making noises. This is the thing that we should do, otherwise we don't see any other option, and this is really a big challenge for all of us, Amrita.
Yes, Oja. Yes, indeed, very beautifully said, Oja. That is indeed very true. I think everyone in the core of their hearts really would understand what you just said, and I think it was really powerful and beautiful that you mentioned. Now, moving on with this, as we have come to the last section of today's program, I'd like to move on to Oja Shantikumar. And the thing is that despite repeated failures, the government has not even taken any substantial steps to rebuild trust, especially trust from the side of the public to the government. Do you think that there should be mechanisms to hold the state leaders accountable for such crises? Because now we see every time we go to, or the people, when they visit or meet their constituency, MLAs, or even the chief minister, there is a word that is very very relevant, not very relevant, but they are very repetitive of. There is one particular statement that they keep blaming previous government, and they said that the turmoil that we are facing currently is a result of the previous government. Now, do you think that the leaders should be taken accountable for such crises? Because if they continue to do such blame games, it will never stop. The next government will do the same thing, and the next government will do the same thing. Now, how can the people ensure that the governments or even the leaders are accountable for their actions, and also they have a responsibility to end the crisis when they are sitting or holding the power during their term? Now, Oja, please put it brief. We are almost coming to the end.
Yeah. These MLAs and the ministers in the government, they must realize, they should know why they became MLAs and a minister. If they don't know, if they are irresponsible, if they are not accountable for what they are supposed to do, they should be taught the lessons. By whom? By the people, by CSOs. And in this case, again, some of a few section of people would come and say, okay, no, MLA shouldn't resign like that. I think this section of people should also be taught lessons by the majority people and the CSOs, because they are against the decisions of the mass, decision of the majority, and decision of the mass CSOs. So they should be explained or given repeating answers, or if possible, a punishment. I don't know. Then people are changeable. So our leaders can be changed if they understand, if they like to change. If they don't like to change, then we have to force them. So this almost happened recently. So people and the CSO have the right to complain, to approach them, and to pressurize them to do what they are supposed to do. And as NAHAKPAM just mentioned about those BJP leaders, MLAs going to New Delhi and explain the situation properly to their central leaders. Why not? Double engine. So they should listen. And why? Again, yes, they have tried before. These MLAs, they tried before, but they couldn't even meet the PM. Why? Because again, they don't have the gut. They don't have the gut. They are not united. They are not united, and they didn't go with proper preparation. And some of them went to replace the CM, and some of them went for certain things. So they were not united. So I think they need to be united, and they go to Delhi and they pressurize the central government. And then only when the central government knows something is very serious, and these MLAs are going to resign from their post, and there will be no BJP rule in Manipur, I think Central cannot just stay mute and silent. I said, so if we like to move, if we like to let the central government act the way we want, and we people have the right to pressurize these political leaders from our state and send them to Delhi and then threaten the central government that they will resign from their post as BJP MLAs and the leaders. And then only, or the other one is, this has been mentioned by many leaders, about going back to or trying to get the pre-merger status. And this one is quite serious. But if the central government doesn't listen, then maybe that is the only last option. And when we propose this kind of pre-merger status, then I don't think central government keep quiet and stay quiet and silent. So I think people have the right to do what people should do and pressurize the political leaders, send them to Delhi, and then we can see. Yeah, I'll put it this way, Amrita.
Yes, indeed, very beautiful point, and indeed very strong point as well. Now, as we've come to the end of today's discussion, I'd like to once again thank our panelists for joining us and giving us your thoughts and opinions. And also, indeed, it was a very engaging and insightful. Thank you again, once again, Oja Shanta, Oja Shantikumar, and Oja JININE for being with us and being a part of our episode tonight. Thank you all once again.
Thank you. Thank you all.
And I'd also like to thank our viewers for joining us and tuning in tonight. We will be back again next Monday with more exciting topics. Until then, have a good week.